have an important message for you today. I feel it's very serious and a timely message. I'm not trying to be, scaring anybody, but when the Lord wakes me up like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was in a sound sleep, and he woke me up and began speaking to me, and this is what he said. There's going to be a downfall of the economy. Purchase non-perishable foods now. And he was very matter of fact. So I wrote that down. I prayed a little bit about it right then, and I went back to sleep. And then this morning, when I got up and took communion and just started, waiting on the Lord, he began speaking to me about what he spoke to me at 3 in the morning. And this is what he said. The time is growing closer as to where you won't be able to buy groceries from the store. Now, I know we're all experiencing that right now. I can go to my local grocery or even a Walmart, and sometimes it's very scarce. And I do believe it's going to get worse. He said the economy is going to crash sooner than you think. You must be prepared, and you must warn others also. So what that's going to look like, and of course the timing on this, I have no idea. He said people have been giving warnings for a while, and no one takes it to heart. The wise man follows the voice of his master, and a fool turns aside to his fate. It reminds me of the parable of the 10 virgins. We had 5 who were diligent. They filled their lamps with oil, and we had the 5 who didn't. They were careless. They were just nonchalant. They were like, well, whatever happens if the bridegroom comes, well, we'll take care of it then. And I think a lot of times that's how we as believers are also. It's like, if something bad happens, God's going to take care of us. Yes, I do believe that. However, he is making provision for us now, and we need to heed what the voice of the Lord is saying and make preparations. So when that time comes, it's like filling your oil, your vats of oil, so that when the time comes, we won't need to run to the store. We will have our supplies because there won't be anything on the shelves at the store. He said, stockpile now non-perishables and be prepared for a drought. Now, what is that drought? Is it a drought in the natural that we're not going to have rain? That could very well be. Or is it a drought spiritually? He didn't make it clear, but I think it can and probably will be both. He said people are going to become parched this summer. Well, if it's a drought and it's extremely hot, I could see where they would be parched. Some time ago, and this was probably a year ago, he told me to stockpile water. And if there's a shortage, if there's a drought and there's a shortage of water, and as you can see, if the shelves are going bare in the stores, we are going to need to put together water. We may not have a supply. So it would be wise to stockpile water. And, I was thinking about this later also. In case something happened that we didn't have electricity, we may need to have a little campfire burner. I guess it's propane. That's how you use it, is with propane. We had one long time ago when my kids were little, but you may need to do that because if you are stockpiling food that's going to need warmed, you may need something like that. Or if it's something that you have food, non-perishable food, you need to add water to it. So, we need to think of these things, have a hand can opener, something like that. If we don't have electric, that's a possibility. You may need that. So he said, you must be wise and teach them how to trust me. We must trust God in all things. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I've heard Rick Joyner and others mention this. Rick's been mentioning it for years, not to scare anybody. Bob used to say the same thing. We need to prepare for a time is coming when we won't have access to the things that we normally have access to today. And I think, as we can see right now, it's like knocking on our doors, okay? We need to continue in prayer and trust the Lord in all things. But he's giving us opportunity. And now he's telling us in advance, take heed. We don't want to be like the foolish virgins. And what did he say here? The wise man follows the voice of his master, and a fool turns aside to his fate. I don't want to be the fool that turns aside and not hear the voice of the master speaking. And then when time comes that, I need to feed my family, we should have enough You know, you can do this sparingly. We all probably have a few extra pounds we could shed anyhow, but you know, you may have a neighbor or a loved one, someone that has not taken heed, and they're going to be in a desperate way, and then you need to be able to share with them. And it's a time also we should be praying over our food and believe, just like, you know, Jesus blessed the fish and the loaves and see the multiplication. I think we really need to trust God in